Hi gardeners. Well, what an interesting day we're having today. We're planting. What? The 19th of December? Yes, we're zone 8A. We're going to get light frosts, except for our 4 to 6 week period in midwinter where we might get pretty heavy, but that's why we have our mesh. It's been pulled back here. We can also do some mulching around them, and as you can see, I have 3 red cabbage that I have already planted today. I wanted to show you this 4th one. Beautiful root structure here, but I have 2 plants. Now I'm going to try to carefully separate them. You can cut them. That separated pretty nicely. This guy is obviously the stronger one. We'll put him in a good spot. And that one will dig in pretty well. We're going to bury both of these here. Okay? Let me show you how we're going to do that. I want these deeper than ordinary because these were grown indoors under lights. The roots have done about as much as they can do. We're going to really tamp that down to make good soil contact with those roots. And as you can see, it can press in a pretty good ways here. This guy is the weak one. Right here. This is the stronger one. So notice when we're done, we're going to have a divot around these plants. Oh, it's like in a hole. Yeah, that means rain and everything will help fill that hole in and keep good soil contact with the roots. That's about as pressed in as I want to go on all of these here. All 5 are pressed in pretty well. Let me back this up a bit. So we now have 5 red cabbage. We'll see what happens. They're going to be under the mesh. Its brethren over here, the romaine's doing pretty well, but you can also see weeds have been sneaking in. Wanted to talk about those weeds. They are interesting. This little guy right here has weeds, has a root system that's almost 6 inches long. As you can see, it's the length of my hand almost. So just because it looks tiny on top doesn't mean it's not stealing nutrients out of your crop underneath. So I've got a lot of hand weeding that I'm going to have to do here. The lettuce tries to shade out weeds. It's just not enough volume there. But these lettuce have done well, and we've got a second cropping here on our bok choy. Once again, the weeds have just sprung up. I've been busy, so has Brad, so we're working under a little bit of disadvantage. The real jobs are taking away a bit from gardening. We're going to get a pretty good rainstorm coming up tomorrow, so I'm not worried about watering those. There's still pretty good soil moisture in there. The romaine are not looking bad. We could harvest outer leaves. We're going to try to let those grow some more. I'm sorry I'm out of breath. I've been working. Here we've been doing more of our green composting inside. Here we put regular compost on infamous bed number 1. Here is the rutabaga, which is looking nicer now that we've done a little bit of work mulching it with straw. And here are the almost 70 garlic that we've been mulching, once again with straw. We can put a little bit more on as they get a little bit higher. Garlic looking fine. As you can see, 3 to 4 inches of growth, right about where we want to be right now. Well, let's take a look over here in the cold frame, the difference. This romaine is now way longer than my hand. Starting to get a nice heart right here. We don't want it too tight, it'll become bitter. think in 2 weeks we could harvest this in a cut and come again, where we'll cut away the whole head, leave about 1 inch, and then we will try to see if anything else wants to come up from that, and then we can harvest individual leaves from that. One never knows. The cold frame has exceeded our expectations. The spinach is ready to go to town. We will be harvesting some of that today, and that will do well in pre-Christmas cooking and salads. So it is not too late to plant if you've done the prep. And over here, the prep was, these seeds were started in October, these cabbage seeds. We have more spring onions right there, and 2 tiny cabbage that just never have popped up. See this, and over here, these 2 cabbages just never got growing. Now maybe they will, but we've got about 20 or so onions there, and those will go in the unprotected bed over by the rutabagas, because onions just don't care. They really don't. You can see that these romaine will go nicely right next to the cabbage. They're not going to block out the light, even if they get up to 8 inches tall, because this is on the end of the row. The morning sun's there, the evening sun is over there. And I think the cabbage will get enough light. All we have to do is make sure they have enough warmth, and that's what the row cover is for here. You can do this even in the winter. You can get harvests 12 months out of the year. You say, we're going to be harvesting today. We've done some planting. We'll do more planting here with the spring onions. The Tokyo Long White is the variety that we use because they are designed to overwinter. They were bred. It's not a hybrid. It's not an F1. It is open source. It's open pollinated. You can save the seeds, and we have done that. These seeds are grown from saved seeds from our spring harvest. So you can now have a self-perpetuating garden. If troubles come, we have a food source. It doesn't take care of everything, but out in that field over there, you can see a hint of grass growing. Brad is going to fence that in, and that's where a couple of cows. We're going to do some beef cattle out there. Just buy yearlings probably and fatten them up. We will see. It's an option. You can always rent the land back out again. This is composting nicely. But the star will be all through the winter. A cold frame. Way to go, guys. Keep growing lettuce. Keep growing spinach. It's going to be good today. Remember, folks, you can grow your own food. Bye.